Hi gardening friends, I'm Lark and I'm in Wisconsin, Zone 5. Welcome to Tea Time Tuesday. I know it's been a long time, but nothing special going on here. Since spring, I think that was the first one, the garden has been outstanding. The growing conditions were warm, not much rain this summer, but in spring we had steady rain. My soil was fertilized with using leaves last fall, and that worked out real good. I do use fish emulsion, and I do use for pest control. I have slugs because I cover the soil. I mulch the soil. And I have slugs and pill bugs and earwigs. So I bought something called Sluggo Plus. And it worked fantastic. So that's kind of a lowdown of my raised bed gardening. I have galvanized beds and I plant in the ground on the edge here. It's tight and I grow on the fence and I grow vertically. Now this year, using this insect netting worked out excellent. No white cabbage moth got in there. And then that made it that I didn't have any cabbage worms eating my brassicas. So I'm going to do the one whole bed in the netting next year. Put the beets under it and some of the lettuces, some of the basil. But it worked out good. My broccoli branched off and gave me more little broccoliettes. And the nasturtiums were gorgeous. I have some in here that look much cleaner and neater, and others that are out of the bed. So my lettuce, I started a second batch in July. And it turned out good. This is romaine. I've been picking the butter crunch. That's the butter crunch right there. That one. And it's okay. I got them planted in all the beds. Some get more shade than others. And I harvest the whole head. In the beginning, I harvest the leaves on the outside. But then I start taking the whole head out. Beets were excellent. Lemon verbena. Love it. It's the most lemony. I absolutely love it. So I have 3 plantings of that. 1 in the bed. And then 2 along the fence line in a pot sunk in the ground. That way I can take it out easily this fall and hopefully overwinter it. I did the same thing with this rosemary plant. It's in the ground in a pot. Now, can some of you tell me, I'm thinking of root pruning it. We'll take it out of the pot and see what it looks like, right? Put it under grow lights and barely keep it watered. Shall we back up? Here's another set of lettuce with a zucchini, which I pulled out 1 plant because it was too much in here. But in the beginning, you never know if they're going to die or not, one of the plants. I did an acorn squash. Never have done that. There's a couple in there. And I think I Googled it and it said when the stem gets soft and brown, then it's ready to pick. So I have 2 of those plants and 1 zucchini in here. The lettuce, some romaines. Again, planted in July, 1st of July, about. Some more arugula, so they get some shade in this hot late summer. Once I pull the tomatoes out, they'll get more sun. And then some bush beans. Just starting to put on some beans. All planted the first week in July. So if you're organized, which I was this year, succession planting is great. A little zucchini, starting to get powdery mildew, and some fungus. But it is September. And yes, this is against my policy of gardening. This is in a treated lumber bed with plastic lined the bed. And I share the stuff in this bed with the residents. I share it all, but I'm not fond of eating out of treated lumber boxes. So if I don't have to, I won't. Our granite path worked out really good. Looks nice. But I like being up against the fence because I use it for growing vertically. Now this cucumber, okay, can I back up here a little, was planted in July with that other stuff that's in that bed. So in July. And silly me, I think I had 8 seeds and they all came up. And silly me didn't pull any of them. So it's thick in there. But I am going to have a late succession of cucumbers, as long as the weather holds out. We have had the last 2 nights 41 and 43 for our lows, but now we're back up to the 50s and 60s at night and 80s during the day. So they'll perk right up. So that planting I did because of this. This is my old cucumber, planted way back in May. And I'm still getting a few little ones. There's, I think, 1 vine on here, maybe 2 vines that are producing yet. And I got 2 cucumbers off the new one, so it's going to be a perfect transition. I'm going to buy 3 more of the, I think this is 1/4-inch conduit, plastic conduit. So next year I do the whole bed. I did buy some more insect netting just in case, I don't know, with all these preppers talking about saving seeds and gardening, and well, I've done that pretty much my whole life. So I'll be ready to grow some of my own food. Tomatoes were outstanding this year. They're ending up. You can see they're still. This is mortgage lifter. Yes, it's about 7 foot. And it has concrete reinforcement that I had at the old house. These are probably about 20 years old. The towers. And this one is my new favorite. My largest tomato was 1 pound 8 ounces. Mortgage lifter. Mortgage lifter. I will get that one again. I bought the plants. Small 4-inch pots. And it looks like I got a nice, I only have 1. And I'm still going to have a few on here. I think the weather will hold out. There's a couple that I think in 3 weeks, maybe a month, if it holds out, I'll have tomatoes. And that's good for Wisconsin. Juliet was my cherry tomato choice for the last number of years. They roast good. I cut them in half and roast them. You know what? I forgot to tell you about my Roma. I haven't grown Roma in this raised bed, and I have one in my galvanized bed too. These are my Romas. And they look like they're going to be a decent size, don't they? And I want to roast them. So I have hope that I'll get, it looks like about 30. And there's some flowers on top, but I don't know if there's enough time here in Wisconsin to get those flowers to develop tomatoes. So anyways, that's 2 Romas in there. So the third tomato on the other side here was Beefsteak Plus. I wasn't impressed. Reason I like Mortgage Lifter is it is a very meaty tomato. Still juicy, but not with all that gelatinous liquid with the seeds like a beefsteak has. So I don't think I'll get the beefsteak again. This is my cayenne. And pretty much I use it for cooking, and I make up an oil infusion and strain it and use it for pain, rubbing on my joints. Aches and pains, sciatic nerve, all that. Big Bertha. The largest one I had so far was 15 ounces. And the name of that bell is called Big Bertha. And there's 3 more on there. I got 2 off of it already. And that's it. For you in a milder climate, like, let's say, how nice zone 6 or zone 7, that would be a perfect Big Bertha pepper. I'm freezing a lot of basil because I like how it freezes and I can crunch it up and put it in dishes or on pizza without drying it, and it loses a lot of its flavor. So I flash freeze it and then put it in a baggie. Amaranth. This is Hopi. Hopi. We eat the leaves in my salads. And amaranth is a grain. So for preppers, they could use it, grind it up, and use it as a flour. Isn't it pretty? And it's more beneficial to us because it's red. So I eat it with my greens. Sometimes I put it in my soup too. More Succession Butter Crunch. Succession arugula. Cilantro going to seed. More nasturtiums. Holy basil. Haven't grown that for a couple of years. So this year I'm drying it, and it's part of my tea regime during the day. Lately I've been putting rosemary with it, and what else? A little stevia. You guys, this is Malabar spinach, okay? Red stemmed Malabar. Likes it hot. 80s and 90s. So it hasn't been happy lately. During the summer, I don't know if, because I can't see in my screen too good here, it got a fungus. And then I read about it, and it said spray it with baking soda mixture and a little dish detergent or oil. So it's coming back. One of my most nutritious greens. But the leaves can get huge. The size of my hand. That's what they can get. And they're good. They're mucilaginous, but they're good. Here they're tiny, tiny because we're getting cold. I have hopes that they will come around yet. Here's the seed from them. Can you see that's there? Pretty black seeds. Navy blue. Red stemmed Malabar all along the fence here. So I planted one in the ground and I put one in a raised bed also. Holy basil's really cool. Tulsi. Do a little research on that herb. Really good for us. I use it for my immune system, calming, anxiety, so many things, balancing. It brings balance. I believe it is an adaptogen, and I do consume several adaptogens. Now here's my other Malabar, and that's planted in the ground, and it was shaded by this cucumber when it was in its prime. So now it's starting to take off. You have to get over the slimy substance it feels like, but it is very good for me. So I put it in my salads and I put it in my soups. More basil, and this is on the east side of these large tomatoes and stevia, so it gets afternoon shade, which was good during the summer. Stevia, my first time using it, planting it, and I'm waiting. I take a stalk off a week about, and it lasts me the week. A leaf here, a half a leaf, but I'm going to be drying it. So this 3-inch pot got really nice, really nice. And there isn't enough time for it, I bet, to branch out too much. It's starting a little now. I'm noticing that, yeah. For a while it was just like this, very tiny. But now it's going, oh, I don't have much time to produce seed, so I better start branching off. But I will cut the whole thing down and dry it. So on the other side of my cayenne and Big Bertha, oh, Big Bertha, here's another one. Here's Big Bertha. This old person is getting so much joy out of senior gardening. The best year I've ever had in gardening, my whole life. They took that tree down and I get sun now. This one here is called King Arthur. A nice bell pepper. I like it when it has a square bottom or a flat bottom so it can stand up on its own. King Arthur. Sweet bell pepper. Some more cilantro. Second harvest. Oh, I'm sorry. More basil on the other side of the peppers. One plant of parsley is enough. More nasturtiums. We eat the flowers and the leaves. And this is my in-ground. Whoops. Sorry, honeybee. This is my other 2 pots of stevia. Just seeing if they do better in the ground, in pots, or in my raised bed over by the hooped-in greens. This is garlic chives. Pretty white flowers going to seed now, but here are some new ones started. Can you see that? So I'll get a second bloom. More arugula over here. This is my first year growing arugula. I like it. And spinach. Borage. This is reseed, so it's going to bloom later. My calendula along the fence. And it's doing okay, but the flowers seem awfully small, so I'm guessing I need to amend the soil more. Their soil is so crummy here, but I will amend it more. And I have it tied with string. This amaranth, Hopi, I am leaving go to seed, so I have my own seed. Looks pretty in there, doesn't it? With the burgundy color and the deep greens, and when that borage is blooming, the blue flowers. Pretty. Orange, blue, and burgundy with a pretty healthy green. So this part here, I didn't have them put in that granite, crushed red granite. I want to amend all this soil. So I'm going to go for now. And I'll show you the rest of my raised bed at another time. I just wanted to make sure that you knew I was doing okay. I'm doing more than okay. It's lovely. Love being out here. We're still loving Three Pillars. And hope that you're having a good summer too and getting ready for fall. What a difference. Look at that cucumber. And that one. But that one I'm giving thanks to because it has bloomed and given me a lot of cucumbers that I shared. So that's it, my gardening friends, for now. I'll talk to you later or next week. You take care, okay? Bye-bye.